First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakak, Wadash. Yahweh is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'Hashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. I wanted to touch on this video that brother Amawan Gabar posted today, going into never trust thine what? Years later, joke on who now? Right, and pretty much it's a compilation of videos of when 2020, right, that whole ordeal was going down, how they're going into how, oh, the problem is the unvaxxed people. The problem is the unvaxxed people. And they go on and on and on and on. Okay, and here it is, right, 4 years later, hey, the news is coming out, right? The truth is coming out that all those people that took that jab, right, were suddenly just dropping dead, right? And it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Same thing with women with children, right? All of the children, Salakia. If you were to search a woman, right, with birth defects and women problems, and you look at a graph, you see a significant spike in 2020 and those following years, right? And hey, it's no coincidence what happened, right? So I just wanted to touch on this because, hey, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right, and 2020 was one of his biggest devices, okay? One of his biggest devices, one of his biggest schemes was getting people to take that jab. Okay, and I didn't take it, right? And I didn't even know the truth at all. I didn't know anything about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua or the scriptures or what was going down. I just knew something in me not to take it, right? And I was reading in information, okay? And this was the documentary, right? I watched this documentary called "Died Suddenly," which was what really opened my eyes when I saw this, right? Is a documentary in 2022 going into how 5 billion vaccinated worldwide and many are dying suddenly. Is this the greatest orchestrated die-off in the history of the world? Question mark. Right? And I remember after watching this, right, it all made sense, right? Because if you look at the photos, this is what's happening, right? This is what the documentary goes into. They found that all these people, right? You have embalmers, which are people that pretty much clean out, like they clean out these dead people, right? They pretty much take care of them after they're done. Let me actually search that up. Embalmer. A person who treats dead bodies with embalming fluid to keep them from decaying, right? So you had all these embalmers that were finding something strange in all these dead people, right? As soon as the jab came out, right? They found that all these dead people that suddenly just dropped dead, they had these giant, pretty much blood clots all through their veins. Okay, and that's why they were just dropping dead, is because their veins, right, their arteries were just clogged. Okay, they were literally not able to get blood. Okay, when you go into this, it's a strange material. Okay, and ultimately it's caused by the jab, right? It's caused by the jab. Right, these embalmers were going into how, yep, I've gone over several bodies, and just recently I'm starting to see these things. Okay, and just using some common sense, that's the only thing that would make sense. Okay, but I remember after watching this, hey, I was even more, yeah, look at this, right? It wasn't just one person, it was several, right? It's several embalmers worldwide seeing the same thing, right? Not no coincidence. So the truth is coming out. Here it is 4 years later, 2 years later, the truth is coming out. And now when we go back to videos like this, when they're pushing in the media, it's funny. And I'll just play it real quick.
When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
You are the unvaccinated. You are the problem. It is the unvaccinated who are the problem. Period. End of story.
The only people that you can blame, the only people you can blame, this isn't shaming, this is the truth. Maybe they should be shamed, are the unvaccinated.
Have to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks.
Anyone you came into contact with will blame you, as will the rest of us who have done the right thing by getting vaccinated.
Because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated.
I think it's time to get our moral house in order, Anderson. It's the unvaccinated who are the threat.
All those vaccinated folks are going to start wearing masks to protect the unvaccinated folks. It's called a Christian value. You're basically punishing the vaccinated for the sins of the unvaccinated. People are not behaving honorably. The unvaccinated are basically saying, well, it's open season for me. I can do whatever I want as well.
The unvaccinated are basically beating their breasts, running around the country saying, we don't care, we're living free, and so forth.
You've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
The unvaccinated, a group that includes children and people acting like children. And the rest of us are starting to get pissed off.
The vaccinated feel the unvaccinated are making me upset or angry.
This is not about freedom. for personal choice.
Well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
The other day, Howard Stern weighed in with a much different approach. Take a look.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, now it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Freedom.
But you're treading on our freedom and you're making other people sick, and really you're killing other people.
The anti-vaxxers, they seem to have a thing for death and home remedies.
The anti-maskers turned anti-vaxxers are not just putting their own lives at risk. If that was the issue, we could just say that we can watch them compete to win place or show in the Darwin Awards.
We have to start doing things for the greater good of society, and not for idiots who think that they can do their own research.
And don't get me started on the lunatics who won't take any of the COVID vaccines.
Life is too short to be an ass. Life is way too short to be ignorant of the promise of something that is helping people worldwide.
Maybe you're doing it because you're disconnected or disorganized. Maybe you have some sympathetic psychological reasons. But maybe you're just being antisocial.
Oh, you can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly. Yes, they are.
Those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
The unvaccinated should be taxed. They should pay more for healthcare.
We need to start looking at the choice to remain unvaccinated the same as we look at driving while intoxicated.
We're going to see, and I've said, almost two types of America.
Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. And that choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy.
Pointing back to the unvaccinated who are really creating a problem in this country, every death that we are seeing from COVID could have been prevented.
Literally, the only people dying are the unvaccinated. And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you. Shame on you. I don't know how some of you sleep at night.
Right, and you heard all that slander right there. And ultimately, this is one of Satan's devices, is the media. Okay, the media is nothing but what they want you to believe. Right? Everything they want you to believe is in the media. So when you have all these, it's funny, because there's actually a video, I think it was in 2020, going into how there is these news reporters, right, saying the same exact thing. Right? Literally, like, word for word, they were saying the same exact thing. Let me see if I can find it. Reporters. Right. I think it was this.
There's a lot of attention around Sinclair promo. This is a
True without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own.
No, it wasn't that. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. News reporter saying the same thing. Let me see. Let me search on Google. And even this one I was just playing is insane too, because they were saying this exact same thing word for word. But I think there was one when it goes into the vid. Let me see if
There's a lot of weirdness going on. There was a thing the other day that was talking about the Nord Stream pipeline. It was in the New York Times. And it was
Eastern Iowa communities.
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
Taking our country.
Oh, the Sinclair script. Yeah, it was that one right here. Let me go back to the video.
There's a lot of attention around Sinclair broadcast.
True without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think.
Right, so you see, they're all saying the exact same thing, the same script. Right, when you go into it, it's because it's the media, man. It's controlled. They're pushing what they want you to believe. What they want you to believe. Okay, and I actually just came to my mind. Let's see, etymology online. I want to see if that word media goes, what it goes back to. Media. The media. Right. Newspaper, radio, TV, perhaps abstracted from mass media, a technical term in advertising, plural of medium. Okay, let's see what medium means. A middle ground. Okay, quality, degree, the middle place of the position. Right? In spiritualism, a person who conveys spiritual messages, right? A medium. Okay? And that's exactly what the media is. It's a medium, right, for these wicked elites to push their spiritual messages, to push their witchcraft, okay? To push their ideologies on you. Okay? There's a whole thing called television where it's really television, if you break it up, they're just telling you a vision. right? They're telling you what they want you to believe. So let's see. I ended up searching up if the COVID unvax and unvax spread the same, right? Because you had all these people talking about how, if you're unvaxxed, you're the problem. You're getting everybody sick. But when you go into the research, right, it comes out that it's pretty much the same, unvax or vax. You're still transmitting it, right? It doesn't change nothing. It says vaccinated individuals have lower viral load if they get infected, but they can still pass it on to someone else. Bryant said, viral load means the amount of virus an infected person produces. If the viral load is significantly less than the vaccination, there is less risk of transmitting the virus to others. With the point that this doesn't really matter, right? They're going into how a vaccinated person has less virus in them, is that you don't need a lot of virus to get infected, right? You don't need, there's not a concentration of virus that you need in your body to get infected, right? All you need is one little speckle, right? One little bit. So this vaccinated person that has a little bit versus, let's say, the other unvaxxed person that has so-called a lot, they're still spreading it, right? They're still spreading it. But the real problem here is that this vax person, now he took the jab that has all types of side effects, and he's still spreading it. And he's going to get sick as fuck just for taking the vax, right? Because that's something I never understood about something that is so counterintuitive, right? If you're trying not to get sick, why would you take a vaccine that gets you sick, right? I never understood that, right? One time, when I was younger, my mother made me take the flu vaccine, and that shit got me sick as fuck, man, sick as fuck. And I literally thought to myself, why would I take that, right? It literally got me sick, but for what? I've never gotten sick from the flu before that, but as soon as I take it, I get sick, right? It doesn't make any sense. But I also ended up searching up in ChatGPT, an AI program, going into do unvaxxed and vax COVID people spread same. And it says the viral load. Studies have shown that vaccinated individuals who get infected with COVID can carry similar viral loads in their nasal passages as unvaccinated individuals. This means that both groups have the potential to spread the virus when infected, right? So it doesn't matter, right? If you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, you're still spreading it. So what these people on the media were saying, that was really misinformation, right? It was obviously the agenda that was being pushed to fearmonger and pretty much put the limelight on the unvax, right? Pretty much through fear, make people take it. It says, vax people tend to clear the virus faster than unvaxxed people. This results in shorter period during which they are contagious, thereby potentially reducing the likelihood of spreading the virus. But also, it came with a little addition, right? It came with the addition of blood clots. And honestly, when I got it like twice. Yeah, I think I got it once or twice. I overcame it literally in 2 days, right? The only thing I had was I couldn't smell for a little bit, and that's about it. And it says, vax people who contract 19 are more likely to experience milder, right? So if you're vaxxed and you get it, it says you're more likely to experience milder symptoms compared to unvaxxed individuals, right? So, hey, that's something in itself. I thought it was the other way around, right? If you take the vax, you're supposed to experience less mild symptoms. But here it is, right? It shows different. Okay, and this AI program, ChatGPT, pretty much compiles information from the internet and portrays it here. But it says breakthrough infections. Vax individuals are more likely to adhere to other preventative measures such as mask wearing and social distancing, which can further reduce the spread of the virus. Right now, it's actually shown that mask thing, it does nothing. Right, the masks did nothing. Okay, and they were pushing that so heavily. So when you look at it at all angles, right, as a brother posted the scripture, Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That's exactly what's happening, right? The Edomites, the wicked of the earth, we can't trust them, right? Because here it is, scripture came to my mind. Policy. Here it is. They're acting like they're here for a benefit. They're doing all these things for a benefit, but it's actually to destroy you, right? So when you go into Daniel the 8th chapter, this is talking about this current empire. It says, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, right? Through the policies, the laws and legislations, that's how these devils pretty much move through everything, right? Because they made it pretty much it was pretty much mandatory to wear the mask in a lot of places, right? To be 6 feet apart, okay? To be vaxxed to leave the country, right? Through his policy, he caused craft to prosper in his hand. It says, he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many, right? So he came forth saying, oh, we're trying to protect people, right? Through peace, he destroyed many, right? Because a lot of people that took that thing are just randomly just dropped dead. It says, he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, Yahushai, but he shall be broken without hand. Okay, this hasn't happened yet. Soon it's going to happen. Okay, and that's what we're waiting for patiently, is that these devils go down, because the way they are ruling the earth is in wickedness, right? It's completely destructive. So, just want to make a quick video on that, right? Brothers talking about, I just measured the pressure they applied on us at that time at camp, right? Hey, brothers went through it, right? Brothers in the truth, they went through it. It was a big trial, okay? So I'll leave it at that. Just a quick video. Hopefully this is edifying. Without it, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. And actually I had one more thing, one more article. Searched up the same thing. I pretty much searched up if the V, right, caused heart attacks, which it did. And it says that the Moderna and Pfizer shots can cause myocarditis. Right, so right there they tell you clearly. The M can cause myocarditis, but evidence suggests they don't cause infertility. And if you go into myocarditis, right, inflammation of the heart muscle, right, which is pretty much heart attacks. Okay. So they're literally telling you, right, the U.S. News, it literally told you this year. Now's when everything's coming out. So like that, like I said, hopefully this is edifying. Shalom to you, like Shalom.